Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Impossibility Defense, a Japanese thriller from 2017 that stars Erika Sawajiri and Tori Matsuzaka. It was directed by Koji Shiraishi, a director who I've covered a lot on this channel, especially in my Asian horror playlist. There was also a J-drama released, apparently, directed by Eisuke Naito, another very talented director of thriller and horror movies. Apparently that's a supplement to the theatrical film or something. It's kind of confusing. Unfortunately, I have not seen the J-drama, so this is a review of the theatrical film only. At a certain park, there's a mysterious man who has red eyes and a black suit. People can go to him and request him to kill someone. These assassinations can never be blamed on him because he takes no illegal action. His strength is in the power of suggestion, also known as hypnotism, and the arrangement of events. He accepts these requests, all the while privately mocking the foolishness of those who request his services. A detective, played by Erika Sawajiri, attempts to stop him through legal means. Now, Japan has made some very cool movies that revolve around hypnotism. Impossibility Defense is not as nuanced or mature or as classic as something like Cure, the Kiyoshi Kurosawa film from 1997. It's also not as purely fun and outrageous as something like The Hypnotist, the Masayuki Ochiai film from 1999. However, this is still more entertaining than your typical slow burn thriller, with multiple kills and an interesting premise. The script writing, I think, is merely adequate, given the fascinating premise, but it's the hypnosis element that keeps you interested. Now, the villain is not technically the genesis for the crimes in this film, because he's basically just acting as the perfect hitman, under orders of other people who have grudges. So if it's like, I want to kill that guy, I'll contact this dude, and, things will go down. He's simply a tool, so to speak, and, basically the morality of Erika Sawajiri's detective character is put to the test because of this. And the moral dilemma, I would say, is similar to something like the Takashi Miike film Shield of Straw, to a degree. Because if you remember in that film, you have an authority figure trying to protect a murderer just because the murderer deserves due process, right? And that was the premise of that movie, and it was taken to an extreme, the morality of it. And this is similar to that, you know what I mean? Because the easiest way for our protagonist to stop the bad guy once she identifies who he is to just shoot him and kill him in cold blood. But she refuses to do so due to her ethics and moral compass. So that's kind of the foundation of the film. And the problem is that legitimately prosecuting a hypnotist with the law is almost impossible, given the laws that have been established in the film. So that's the core of the movie, and it's interesting. It is interesting. There are some cool and unpredictable moments, one of which made me gasp out loud. It involves a policeman who makes a vital mistake when discussing the case, and that's a really good scene. Probably the best individual moment in the film. The storytelling is episodic to a degree, because it shifts to different normal people who are hiring this bad guy to do certain bad things and murder people. And there's also a secondary bad guy who's planting bombs around the city, which does create a little bit of abruptness when shifting between all of these different people and things. It's maybe a little bit on the sloppy side. It could have been maybe streamlined a little bit better. But it does help to keep the pacing up. The conclusion is going to be quite different from what you might expect. And some have expressed disappointment at the ending of this film, and how it actually ends, like the final few shots of the film. But I actually kind of liked it. The acting in the movie, I would say, is decent to pretty good. Erika Sawajiri is actually a very talented actress. She's had a lot of personal life problems in real life, and that's put her career on hold multiple times. Her career is on hold again. So hopefully someday she comes back to the industry. But I think her performance in Impossibility Defense was a little bit uneven. Not her best work, but she's still fun to watch. Tori Matsuzaka does a good job as the bad guy. Maybe you could call it a one-note performance, but he does a good job being kind of creepy. And then we get Shigeo Osako, the tough guy actor from the Senritsu Kaiki File movies, shows up in the background a few times in this one. And I would consider those to be like Where's Waldo moments for fans of this director, Koji Shiraishi. Since the actor and him have collaborated so many times, I always just assume this guy's going to be in a Shiraishi film at some point. So it's just a fun little side note for you. But I think that, Impossibility Defense, despite some of its flaws, is enjoyable. I think the premise goes a long way. There are a few really interesting individual moments, and it's just kind of a fun watch. Currently streaming on Daily Motion, and I'll include a link in the description box below. So let me know if you watch this and what you think of it. I feel like the overall opinion is quite divisive online. But check it out if you want. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.